What a day, what a day. Let's move this into the smaller piece. What a day, what a day. Let me turn my sound off real quick. Let's move. Okay, so yesterday, Monday pump day, went over our target, which is giving us multiple opportunities now. So we had the daily gap that got closed yesterday, big time, where we pushed through and people were thinking we're gonna go to all-time high straight away. If we zoom in, like let's first zoom out again still. I want the 3 days. 3 days, we are still looking okay to go down. And now that I'm really looking at it a bit closer, there are two possibilities, yeah? We have the possibility to create the double top and to go down in combination with this trend line breakout, retest, continuation. This is possible, I'm not saying it will be happening. That's one option, yeah? So it creating the double top here and price going down. Because we were waiting for the 3 day, like the momentum of the Bitcoin has been reduced when we created that all-time high. So price might go down towards 84 or 80, 90, 94. What's it? Yeah, 94 or 85, something like that. That's very possible in this kind of stage because the momentum has been reduced. We need to go down before we can continue big. However, if we zoom in the day, we did break this trend line, created a new lower high, new lower low, and right now we didn't create that higher high yet. However, we did made a higher high based on this one. So we need to be keeping our eyes open here. And why is that? Because if we zoom in even more, on the 4 hour, we broke through. We had this bounce first on the level, which was also a trend line here, which broke and retested. And then eventually, let's remove you for a second. We broke through this. So there are many ways we can think of this. We could either make a double top here, retest on the 105 500 and push further to create that new all-time high, or we will go down to the target which I just said. So we had this trend line breaking. So this trend line got broken. The 105 500 is open and the 104 300 on the daily. That's a bit more precise. It's also 4-hour gap there. See, so these two areas are very interesting here. So we were waiting for the confirmation here to go short. Fun fact, I went short. I've been waiting for this this gap to be closed very like for 2 weeks now, end of May. And then yesterday I took it, and I ended up marching after I noticed that we also closed the 1 hour gap here. So this gap got closed as well. The other one we didn't at 111.10 something ish. But we did on the hourly create a level, and you see a level here where price touches, bounces, touches, goes through, bounces, touches, goes through, etc., etc. Do we have more information on that? Level, it touches here as well. Okay, so that's all right. That's all right. So, what are we having right now? Closing that 1 hour, combining it with this level and the old cap that we have, the potential here is to create this double top pattern and to go down like this. But from here, where do we go? This is where balls are needed for, because we will be, what I will do in this scenario, I would place a short on that back test to create that double top into 105.500, sell 75% over here, and let the other 25% for a potential continuation down. If over here at 105.500 the price is showing a force up, we can close it. We already had that 75% profit. So this is very possible here. For my short position, yeah, I'm break even now because I entered over here and then end up marching. No, yeah, I entered big time over here, added a bit more marching, and I want on the 1 hour, and now my entry is over here. So I'm either thinking of closing with a break even opening on the retest, or I'm gonna hold this now in case we don't have that retest at all. However, I wish for it to be happening. Okay, what I could do, I could close a small quantity now and then reopen, or like add marching over here. But this potential, like, I don't wanna, we are trading a bit sideways. I mean, we are trading both ways in this case. So I closed all of my long entries, but I do wish for this to be happening, to create that new all-time high. So double top, price go down, double bottom, new all-time high. This is what I would prefer, but I'm also okay for price to make that double top, price to go down, and to go down, and to go down, and to go down. This is the risk that we're taking. It's not a big risk, basically, because we can hedge it until we have confirmation of price going up or down. But based on the daily, nice. Yeah, based on this daily, we could still have the potential of going down, but right now we have the potential of also going up. Okay, so trade safe with this. For Ethereum, we had other plans today, or I mean yesterday. So we had this, like right now we got this range where we need to break out of. We either break out of like this with the green path, or we're going to retrace down, break out, continuation down. Both ways, very possible. However, yesterday as well, we created this higher high over here. However, we didn't create a higher high on this part. You see? So it didn't close above. And if you zoom in like this, you can see the difference even more. Now this could still be going upwards. Don't get me wrong. And I'm bullish. I mean, I'm bearish on Ethereum because I still want this breakout to be retested and then to go up. That's what I really want. However, if we break through that the range that I just had, we will continue going up, most likely towards there. Okay. Diving into near, because I was also in these trades where my entries weren't the best, if I say myself. Even the results came out perfectly. Don't get me wrong on that. We closed ADA in a total of 23%, Near with a 40%, Gala with a 20%, and Ripple with 46%. However, Ripple, like over here, my entry or my profit would have been 105% or so. But yeah, whenever you take off bits and bits, your total percentage will be lower, which is fine. We still made profits on it. All right, so for Near, we broke out and we did what I wanted. We created this higher high here, and now I want price to retrace down. We created this daily gap over here. Oh, hello. Yeah, we created this daily gap over here. So this one is closed. Let's remove that. Closed. There we go. And what we want to see now is for this daily gap to be retested. So we got another one here as well. Just, you know, we're gonna keep it open. So what we want now is for this price, for this gap to be tested again, and then to break out. You know, a bit like Bitcoin right now, where we want it to be retested and then continuation up. Okay. Doing this will create that inverse head and shoulder pattern, and which will mean that most likely price to go towards the next daily gap. Okay, and I'm doing it with the trend line basically because this size, because this size is mostly the size that will go on the other side as well. So 12.6, yeah, 12.6, yeah, something like there. It will eventually go for this gap. Let's keep it that way, okay? And then if it breaks out, hits that gap, we can get a retest, continuation up. But I'm still waiting right now, so I'm gonna place an alert in case it does make that retest that we want. Going over on Ripple, where price went up even more. So let's keep this, by the way, in here. Yeah. Okay. Going down on Ripple. Already have that alarm over there. So in here we created that higher high as well. We closed just above the other high. So we're gonna remove this and call it a daily close. Closed. And this can be removed as well. Yeah, this can be removed as well. Because right now it was a wick that entered it. So going short from here on that close was nice. But I think that was more like an hourly close, if you ask me. Yeah, so that hourly close. So this was the perfect moment to short into the requirement, like into the target that we had to go long. But that's fine now. On the daily we closed it, so we're gonna keep it that way. And we did break out of this trend. So what we want right now is for this 1 day gap over here, we're moving it down because this is the 1 day gap right now. So as of right now, I want to see this price action retest that low and then go up, because this is the only gap open right now. It may bounce on this level where you have this double bottom and then retest on that neckline, aka the level as well. So these two longs are possible. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to set a alarm over here in case it does hit. Well, actually right there. All right, Gala did perfectly what we said. So Gala went up towards the level that we had marked, including the daily gap. So this daily gap got closed nicely. So Gala really is making that inverse head and shoulder pattern here. It went straight to the level, and now I want Gala to either bounce back towards this level and then continuation up, break out of this trend line and hitting the 1.01920 well 32. Good morning. Okay, so it is kind of that simple. Like all of the altcoins are pointing out to break out soon, and especially with this pattern this better be made on multiple coins and like closing the gaps perfectly. Like it's couldn't be better in, you know, black white, if you ask me. So this was the trade that I wasn't really confident about, which is why I closed it as well yesterday. So we had the daily, like all of the daily altcoins and all of the daily coins are nice, except ADA, like Cardano. You see a bunch of these wicks on the dailies that are just very untrustable, if you ask me, where we did create that same kind of pattern, however with wicks, which I don't like. And zooming in, we could use the 4 hour, but I don't like to use like other hours. Well, the daily gaps mostly work out. So I did close over here, which is fine, but now I want to see a retest happening, and hopefully it will also do it with a wick as here before. So that will mean that if it touches over here, price will be back up very soon and then continuation up. Let's drag this trend line down a bit. Where is it coming from? Yeah, let's drag it down a bit. There we go. But yeah, zoomed out on the 3-day on ADA, we still see that downward trend line, like lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Same for the lower lows. And as right now we created that higher low. So for now it is time, and we want to see it create this first higher high. Okay, that's on the 3 days, and on the 1 day it's the same, where we want it to be creating that higher high. And if it doesn't, like it doesn't really break out and it stops its head above this gap, then we could take this short. However, I don't like that short entry. Like if it's going to reject us, then you can short it into the next gap possibly, but it creating this creating this higher low, it's like the indication that we're having. And right now, as soon as it makes that pattern, breaks out, creates that higher high, then we have that confirmation that price will shift down. We will have a retest, continuation up, and then we can look towards 1.1 perhaps. Okay. Then we have SUI. Like I said before, SUI has not much data, so we're going with what we have. And as of right now, if we remove these real quick, we also created this same pattern where SUI broke out of the trend line. Now we want to see it retest it, just like Bitcoin basically has, for continuation up. I have no clue why this is still here. Oh yeah, this was the potential short to create that inverse head and shoulders, but that is not. See a level here, by the way. But that's not what we did. I wanted to see and get confirmation first before taking any shorts here. Taking a short on this level would have been your way in. But then again, trade with the trend. The trend is your friend. And sometimes you have to wait because trading is waiting. Cliche. I know. So this short I will remove as well. So the only possibility for SUI right now, for me at least, because if Bitcoin is going to break out on the upside, then most likely SUI will as well. Where this is a possibility. Like that. If it doesn't, and it doesn't break out from here, it doesn't create that higher high, yes, we can still look to see if we can create this lower low, because this is still in the downtrend. And if we don't retest, break out to the upside, then a lower low like here is very possible. Okay. Trim coin. Let's update it real quick. I haven't looked at Trim coin for a while. This is the 1 day. Let me dive into the 1 hour, where this was the trend line that we had. Oh yeah, we had this trend line on the 1 hour. Not the best one if you ask me, but it did break through, and it happened already from there. Yeah, I don't like it. Oh, we had 2 trend lines in fact. So we did close here. Oh, the hourly hit the entry here. like I said, I haven't been paying attention to Trump anymore, but taking this long here would have been your way in. Because as of right now, we have this trend from up here on the hourly, which broke trend line, where price most likely comes down and goes there, goes up again, or like this, and eventually move upward. So I'm gonna keep it this way, but it did hit that 1 hour gap perfectly with a wick. So if you took it, very nice for you. Okay, on the daily still. Yeah, on the daily we broke out to the downside. If this isn't holding enough and it's not breaking out, the downtrend can continue. Then the 8.030 is very, very open. The 8.3 or the 7.76. Okay. Where at the end, yes, you can focus on 18.62%. 18.62 cent dollars. It's early, okay? Leave me alone. How is okay? Chill guy. I'm just going over all of the coins real fast because I have to go to work. We missed the train on Sui. I mean on Chill guy, where we wanted to enter the short from this level or the gap. We just missed it with those wicks on this neckline here, where it created the double top in here. Retest on this neckline. Continue down. So this is currently on a downtrend where it has the potential of turning. Because of right now, you still have that possibility of making this head and shoulder, like inverse head and shoulders. But it's creating those lower lows and the lower highs. Doesn't really give any possibility to go short, to go long here. The only possibility to go long is maybe from the 0.05, but then it goes like this, where we have to see it bounce and then create a higher high, then retest, continuation up. That's what you need to see in order for Chill Guy to go long on. Okay. Fortcoin made that higher high, so this one is invalidated. And where wants it go to now? Because this was the neckline that we had, so we're gonna remove that neckline. We have the gaps on the 1 day, where this is currently over here. This got closed, but it might have influence, as you can see. Important. So what can we expect now? We created this higher high based on this, and we created that lower low from this point of view. Zooming out a bit more, uptrend. Yeah, so this is most likely to be happening with Fartcoin. I remember some guys like Dave, I know you trade Fartcoin. Be aware we could either reverse from this level here make that double top or anything, and then reverse down. Or it will go straight towards the gap, and then it will be like a retest from the trend line that broke, a retest, continuation down. Okay, that's very possible in here, so we have to wait for confirmation. Like, will we go reversal on this level for downwards, or will we just continue going up? I'm placing my bets on shorting it from here. But whenever Bitcoin is going to break out, then this has the possibility to also create that new higher high. Just saying. And potential of going there, you know? It's all possible. Possible. Okay. Ondo. Been a while, Ondo. Last time I was looking at Ondo, we were over here. So a couple days back. Where we are still in this trend. We're still in the downtrend. We created that higher high as well. We need that retest now on this important old gap. Like, it is closed, but I'm calling it important because smashing through it can mean that we can bounce on it. So 1 day gap we have in here, the 1 day gap, and in here, where this 1 day gap has been hit. So whenever you see this trend line, okay, we have this trend line, we broke out of it, first gap got closed, second gap got closed, third gap with a wick, entering based on that gap, stop loss just a bit below this here, could have mean that you were still on this trade with 15.66%. And with the potential of retesting on this important or the daily gap for continuation up. Focusing on if it does break, it could potentially go to 1.0288. And if the price will continue, you can look for 1.33. And there's one gap here as well, which I didn't see yet. There we go. Yeah, price will most likely go towards here. Most likely towards 1.2. And why is that? Because it's responding as a level as well. So double confirmation, you know? Okay, so zoom in a bit more on it. It didn't create that lower low, which means that we have the indication. Well, first off, the indication was this higher low. Second indication was this higher high. Now we need to see it do like this. So we have another higher low, close over here, create that higher high. Looks like a penis, I know. All right, so Lana. Is there any words needed for this? I looked at this from, yeah, also June 6th. So this one got closed. Template closed. Where this would have been your entry. I mean the stop loss below that low. Worked out perfectly. The trend broke out. We created that double top. Was this a retest on the wick? Perhaps a very small one. However, let's have, oh, it's doing the same as ADA, by the way, with the wick. So let's have this continue up. Come over here, close that gap, short it to the bottom. I hope. So placing a alarm over here, and then we have to wait for confirmation. Confirmation could be at the double top or something like that, where we can wait for the response and then see what it does and then enter to go short. Speaking of shorting, Bitcoin is doing perfectly. Yep. So what we have going on here, I'm hoping for a retest, 780, retest, continuation down. Okay, yeah. Solana daily. Yeah, just zoomed out. It's very basic, you know. We got a trend line, we got levels, and we got gaps. What else do you need? You don't need this to see, okay, where you know, where lies levels and such. You don't need VWAP. Hello? I think my VWAP is broken. Just give me this. Oh yeah, okay, so this is the VWAP, okay. You don't need an indicator like VWAP or anything. Like, it's not going to help you at all. You don't need fair value gaps, because seeing these impulses down is a gap for you. Like, entering here might be good for your short, but what are the odds for price to still go over here, hit that gap? Same over here. Let's see, okay. So we had this gap here, see? So it's telling us that there is a big gap over here. So normally they say, yeah, in the middle of this fair value gap, you should enter, stop loss over here below that first candle. Okay. So we entered already from there and then got stopped out. And then price continued up. So don't trade on based on these. And yeah, perhaps sometimes they do work. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes they do work. As you can see over here. With this one, but you're gambling. And doing the gaps and all is shown that it's working. So keep it like that. And then we also have this, where you can use smart money concept. You could use it. I don't use it that often because you can see it clearly from just looking at price. Where this was your uptrend, we broke below here, which means you have a change of character. Now afterwards we created this low. As soon as we create this low, this will be a break of structure, yada yada. However, if we do this and we close above here, we create a new change of character, like shown here. Okay. So an indicator like this, yeah, it could help you. It could also see, okay, where lies most support, and the resistance. See? It could be useful for you, but there's no need for. So as of right now, we are waiting for confirmation. I will let this go and, I will let it continue going up. I will add a daily gap over here because that's what it's been creating. And we'll see what it will be doing, okay? We got TIA with a bottom where it never went this low before. Don't trade trades. I don't recommend trading coins where it has reached that bottom when it launched, because there's no much data here. Like, it could potentially go up and break, forming this kind of pattern. However, there's no data. So there's no data, there's no possible level or anything. So in order for TIA to work out, it has to create a higher high. And over here as well, it didn't. It failed to create that higher high. Same here. So you have the lower high, lower high, lower high, and eventually on the bottom as well, all lower lows. But if the breakout will be happening here, then yeah, there's a potential of going very high. Let's say 100x. Okay. So we have to keep eyes on this. I will place an alert on here. So if it did create that inverse head and shoulders and price went up, then I'm being alerted for it. Okay? Because I need confirmation. Like, will it create this higher high from over here? This is what I need. So I'm gonna draw it exactly how I want it to be. Okay, just like that. That's how I want it. So I'm gonna be waiting for this confirmation, and if by any means it will hit this gap and reverse down, I'm not taking the trade, you know? I'm waiting for this confirmation because this is a risky coin. Dot, let's remove this. How do I remove it? There. Okay. I haven't been looking into this one for quite some while. Otherwise I would have been updating trend line. Alright, trend line. Trend line. On the daily, okay, so this one can be removed. This one got closed, so we're going to remove, change into closed, where we have this level, but also a daily gap, which has functioned as the support for here. We have same pattern going here, same pattern. So we have the daily gap, we have the long retest over here, breakout, create that higher high. First it needs to break out, okay? So we have this this daily gap. Yeah, so we have this daily gap in here. So we need this to break out. Sand, haven't looked in sand also for a while. But it seems like the trend lines are still continuing up. In fact, we broke on sand. And if we zoom out on sand coin, by the way, it has reached a very important area here, because last time when it touches this area, it went so much into the air. And if I'm going to drag a daily gap from here, daily gap, it didn't reach it yet. In fact, it's been a bit lower. And maybe on this wick. So it did on this wick. So a gap could either be from here or in this gap. As you can see as well, people call it a fair value gap, but this one got closed so nicely here. And still functioning as a... So if we... Yeah, look. It is still saying that there's this fair value gap. Nice. Okay. I guess that was the support that you needed over here. But that is fine. I'm just gonna leave this open for now. Trend line has been broken. Let's zoom in on daily. Yeah, trend line has been broken. Same situation like all of the others. Give me a retest. Pump it, baby. Let's alert from over here. Yeah. Is this the daily gap? We're gonna be moving this over here. So like that. Let's dive into the hour, where we have this potential. Okay. We're gonna leave it like this, okay? I have my alert set for this, so in case we need to take a dive in, we will be looking into it. This is the coin where I trade with the 1 hour. We are very close on doing what I am predicting. So this coin is going the other way around from Bitcoin. So sometimes I like to trade this one. I in fact traded over here when it broke out, closed it over here, re-entered on this wick, closed it somewhere over here. We are in this downtrend here. We have been creating the lower low and the lower low, and we have a possibility to trade against this, but also with the trend, because we have a hourly gap over here, this one, where I'm waiting to open a long over here, because doing it this way, it is still creating the lower low, like it's still following the trend downwards. And on the upside, we have these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. I need to hurry because I need to go in a minute. So let's add this in here, 1 hour gap. 1 hour gap. Okay. So I'm really looking for this price to touch the entry, make a reversal, break this trend line, and then eventually create this higher high, like so, and then push up further. Because right now we have two trend lines, like this one, it's a bit steeper, and then these 2 points where we'll have some difficulty pushing through, which is this hourly gap in here as well. Okay. XDC is the daily, 1 hour and the daily. Okay. Yeah, so these are the daily gaps here. Let's fine tune it a bit, where this still has potential. Well, we have here as well. So diving into the hourly, I see a 3-minute line. Yeah, so this was a 3-minute gap, I think. Not needed. We had this bounce on the level. We had a small double bottom here, neckline. It retested straight on that neckline. Price to go up, creating the first higher high and closing above, creating this new trend line. Okay. Let's make that into trend line as well. So hourly wise, we have been pushing through. I was watching this already, by the way, where we created this double bottom effect, but we didn't create the higher high. So price goes down on this target again, where there's, I think, no data. There is. Maybe on the 4-hour. Oh yeah, so you got a 4-hour gap in here. Yeah, perfect entry there. Okay. But yeah, it has been creating the higher highs. It's still pushing through right now, which is good. And that potential has to go into the 1.06. Zoomed out even more, we're gonna be looking into the daily gaps. We have this then downward trend line, where this has still the potential, actually, to no, it already gave that reversal pattern. Well, it still has the potential to either do this, retest, and then goes up. That's still possible in here. On the daily, on mask, there was a request from yesterday or a couple days ago. Price had a bounce on the 1-hour level, but it's the question if that level will be strong enough. Okay. So this black line functioned as a bounce from before. Like, I told, I don't know who asked it, maybe Dave. But I told them, like, we need to close above the important line. In fact, we did, but on the next day we went through. But we did had a bounce on this level, which is a hourly level, as you can see. Yep. So what is possible for this coin right now? Like, I was waiting for another confirmation that we would either hit the level again and then go up, or we're going to close this 1-hour gap and then price go up, because doing it creates that retest of this breakout from the trend. Retest, continuation up. Okay. So these two are possible. We got Jasmy that broke out of the trend line. I wish to see it still retest these two gaps for continuation up, because we broke out of this trend line. Give me the retest, continuation up into 0.03 at least. This one. Okay. However, we broke through the trend line that we were having here, forming that inverse head and shoulders. This gap in here has been touched with a wick. Another wick has been retouched here as well for today. But I want to have it touch the daily gap from 0.015. Then give me a retest on the important notice here. We have a 1 day gap in here as well, so it could either be this level, yeah, this important old gap, or this one, in order for price to continue up. Okay. XCN is the 1 hour trade. If you double click, by the way, it will just fix this for you. What do we have here? Holy. Onyx. So we created same situation here. We did create that lower low eventually, but we smacked through, created a big higher high. I wanted for it to do it slowly. This coin doesn't. It will just smack right through. So this one got closed, this one got closed, and this one got closed. But this one is the most important for me. Closed. Now we have this chance, yeah, of retesting. So like this, retest on this gap or the important line for continuation up, break it out. Or it goes back to where it all started. So this one is possible as well. Going back into Bitcoin right now, so we did smack through that level that we have. We are still waiting for confirmation on the daily gap. I am in profit now, but 30 minutes ago I wasn't. And then yeah, so we have this retest happening on Ethereum now, I hope, on the hourly. I have a bad entry on Ethereum, I have to admit it. So this important line is still valid, where you see it bounces. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So I'm still waiting for Ethereum to do what we need. But I hope for Ethereum to jump down, and so jump down and break. Because as of right now, we are just in a box basically, where we have this area and that area, and this is the 1 hour gap. It could give that potential short, I'm not gonna lie. But again, if it breaks above, we will go up for sure. And if we break below, we will try and hit down towards 1800. I really hope for it to go towards 1800. But that's my thought. I'm very bearish on this coin, on Ethereum. And on Bitcoin, I'm basically sideways, because we have the possibility to either go down and retest or do like this. There's always two possibilities with any coin, but you know that already. It's like, what are the odds, you know? Well, it's all of it is 50-50, because it will either go up or go down, depending on the market maker and all of the influence from others. Okay, I'm gonna close this live stream because I have to go to work. I hope that I gave you enough information for this stream. If not, feel free to ask some questions. I'm gonna be live streaming on Friday. On the Discord, I will be notifying everyone at what time, because I have to, I don't know my time schedule yet. The weekend I will be working, which is why I do it on Friday, but most likely Friday, maybe 12 o'clock, maybe a bit later, maybe 12 or 2 o'clock my time, which is UST plus T. +2. UTS +2. Holy crap. UTC +2. I'm tired, you know? In case you are not in the Discord yet, in the link below, like in the description below, we have the Discord link for free. If you are new to trading, we offer courses to become a trader. And you know, start making your own analysis like this. And if you are new and you want a better exchange, we are using BitUnix. Feel free to open the link, make an account, and trade with us. Okay? If there are any questions, let me know. You can also ask them into Discord, where I will respond as soon as I can. Alright guys, have a good one. And I will see you on the next one.